Wow, we got a great group. I want to first of all thank Mr. Bree Clemens for bringing up always does such a great job of timing, getting us on the time, make sure the slides are ready, the back office put together. He makes us look great. I mean, he does it all. So, matter of fact, let's give him a hand because he just does an outstanding job. He's the kind of guy that's always want to be behind the scenes and never out front. And I want to thank him and appreciate him from the bottom of my heart. He does a great job out there. Ms. Konahari from Japan. Good morning out of Japan. Now, you guys, look at this. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. Today's Thursday today's Thursday in our country. It's Friday at 1 in the morning where she's located in Japan, in Osaka, Japan. So thank you, dear, for joining us. Matter of fact, let me see her on. There she is. There she is. I see her happy face. That's called commitment. Ain't that amazing? We can't get nobody. Ain't that amazing how we get people on from another country, 1 o'clock in the morning, and we can't get 2 people on and they're down. That's amazing to me. Miss Belinda Batiste, good morning. Thank you so much. Mr. Gray, part of the bakery organization. Our regional director, Rose Guerrero and Chris King, thank you for joining this morning. Mr. Dale Ranton up in Nashville, Tennessee, thank you. Mr. Dave Culver, hey, my friend, you are amazing, man. I love your comments the other day. You're right on the money, man. You're amazing. Mr. Mills, Harrison Mills, thank you, sir. By the way, I made a correction. He has a 60 points. That's not 60 points champion. Thank you so much. Oh, wow, we got Miss Regional Vice President Platinum, Ms. Giles and Driscoll on the call this morning. Wow, good morning, wow. We got Mary Perez, thank you for joining. And we have also Regional Director, Miss Natasha Ismail. Good morning, dear. And like I've said, everybody all week, keep her in prayer and her family in prayer. She lost her grandmother a couple of days ago. Actually, today is a funeral. So we thank you for even joining us, dude. That's a true champion. Things going in their life, they're still right here with us. That's a blessing. So let's keep her in our prayers, the whole family. Queen V from New York, thank you for joining us today. Miss Perry, part of the bakery organization, thank you, dear. Frank and Patricia Bowman out of wait, don't tell me, out of Sacramento. Actually, God dang it, I can't believe I forgot the town now. Out of Sacramento, Elk Grove, Sacramento. Man, I remember that was nothing out there but farmland when I was up there buying property in Sacramento. And then look at it now. Let's see here. Oh, Miss Martinez from Iowa. How you doing, dear? Good having you on from Iowa. Yes, I know they got more than 8 people in Iowa. She's probably laughing at me right now. Miss Tracy Gilmore, part of the bakery organization. Thank you so much. And Miss Zoe, part of the bakery organization. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I love the comment Miss Driscoll just sent to Miss Ismail. Well, folks, we got a young man on. Let's see if he's on. Is he on right now? Let's see if he's on here real quick. We're expecting, we're expecting. Oh, Mr. Sergio Mexico. Thank you so much, Sergio, on the call today. Let's see, where's Mr. Miss Caroline Baker, thank you so much. Miss Joyce Brewer, thank you so much. Oh, Regional Director, Miss Darlene Evans from South Carolina. And we also want to thank another Regional Vice Director, Mr. Marvin Carter. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Man, look at everybody's trying to jump on it. Mr. McDonald, thank you so much. Oh my goodness. That's it. Al Randolph from Oakland, California. Thank you so much. Mr. Freddie Sherman, thank you so much. Natalie, excuse me. My God. Thank you so much for being on the call. Mr. Winston, we see you, sir. All right, Miss Anna, thank you so much. Miss Dominic Young, our school teacher. I have no idea where our guest speaker is today. Mr. Man, I even sent a flyer out. I should have sent him a flyer to remind him about Mr. King. Hey, Mr. King, could you text Mr. Dean Tarrolly and find out where he's at, sir? Okay, all right, everybody hold on a second. Everybody hold on a second. Let me, man, the myth, the legend. Well, let's have Miss Driscoll kind of say a few words while I get Mr. Dean Tarrolly located.
Good morning.
Good morning, superstar.
Good morning. I'm not camera ready, so. But I'm here and ready to take notes with Mr. Dean Tarrolly. So good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is well and happy and looking forward to an amazing day ahead. And obviously going into the weekend, It was a pleasure. I reflected on our conversation on Monday and actually re-listened to it as, you know, I love that you have leaders that are just truly servant leaders like Jabari, just doing all that he can do to make this call incredible and phenomenal. And recordings. So how have you been doing with your IMs? I am. What? Anybody want to share any IM today? Anybody? Mr. Thomas.
I think you probably stunned them. They're probably still working and said, we got to get it ready. I love it. Hey folks, since nobody has any IM, see what we're going to do. Yesterday I had a Q&A, Ms. Driscoll, I had a Q&A yesterday, and we went through how to do an effective and talked about public speaking, how some people think they can, you know, speak, but they don't have the words down, or they can't read the script. I'll read the 1 through 10. So today I want to take it from a different standpoint. I'll be right there. Okay, he'll be right on just a second. So what I want to do is continue with the Q&A from yesterday. You got myself and also Regional Vice President Platinum, Ms. Johnson Driscoll. You can point the question, either one of us. So I want you guys we're going to continue from yesterday. The Q&A was, matter of fact, it was a great session yesterday. If you guys did not get a chance to be on the call, I'd highly advise you go back and listen to it on the channel. And Mr. Bree Clemens, if you could post the channel so people could go back and listen to it. I think it was a powerful, powerful talk, because we went through a lot of things on the Q&A. Because I know we have, you know, every Monday in June, we have Ms. Driscoll. Every Thursday, Mr. Dean Tarrolly, and Friday, Mr. Byron Nelson joins us. But also we're doing a lot of teaching, but I decided to open up for Q&A because sometimes I know a lot of you have questions about A, what do I say to people? B, how do I recruit in this time that we're in today? And C, you know, how you know, whatever question you may have about the business. So sometimes it's good to open up and get your questions answered. Some of you have great questions that are directed in something that really will help you grow your business. So until Mr. Dean Tarrolly comes on, you got Regional Vice President, Ms. Johnson Driscoll, and myself to ask questions about something about building your business. So the phone lines are open until Mr. Dean Tarrolly gets on here. So please have at it and state your name and city you're calling from, and then your question. Lines are open. Okay. All right. Anybody got a question about building their business?
Good morning. This is Tracy Gilmore, Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay, a little louder. South Carolina.
North Carolina. I'm sorry, Mr. Thomas. I am driving and trying to be on this call at the same time. My question is, during this time, how would you address or approach a person that you would see like at a grocery store? How would you approach maybe the teller or the checker?
You know, I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna let Ms. Johnson Driscoll add on to this. That just happened to me yesterday. I was in a grocery store, and I got a lady's name and number, and found out she knew people I knew. And what basically she was walking down the aisle.
Guys, I cannot hear you. Holy smokes, this update is crushing me. Hold on one second.
We got you, sir.
I can see you.
And I was walking down the aisle, and she was looking and looking and looking.
Hey, Chris.
And I looked up and I said, "What are you looking for?" She said, "I'm looking for so and so, so and so." I said, "That's 2 aisles over." She said, I wish they had names.
You guys can hear me. I just can't hear you. Give me
what
one
aisle
quick
stuff
second.
was on. Could you guys mute Mr. Tarrolly just for a second? There you go.
Interesting.
And I said, I wish I knew what, I wish they would put stuff on the aisles, or you know what aisle stuff was on. I said, "Ma'am, if you look over your head, there's one here at this end and there's one on that end." And she's, "Oh my God." We got to chit chat and talk and found out we knew some of my attorney that does stuff for me as far as my trust and my wills and, well, not wills, my trust and my LLCs. Kind of found out she works right in the same office. Small world. I said, "Then we need to have coffee. Let me show what I do that I can afford to stay home." So it's just a conversation sometimes. And a lot of times, mom, dad, sister, cousin, uncle, pastor, preacher, minister, and also the rabbis tell us, don't talk to strangers. Strangers will make you a fortune in this business. It's fortune. You know, my whole organization was built around strangers. If I waited for my family, I'd be broke. I finally got my daughter in for her 18th birthday. That was her birthday present. We're in Mexico. I said, what do you want for your birthday? She says, Daddy, I want you to put the money up to $4.99 to get me started in ACN. Well, you know, I did that. She got a few customers. You know, that's how kids are. Now she's home out of college, graduated from Northeastern with a degree in business and a minor in law. However, I asked her the other day, so why don't you start working more on your business? You know, so yeah, again, you got to keep going. But anyway, that's one. So let Miss Drowland Driscoll break in with that and let her say a few minutes to something, and then we'll get Mr. Tarrolly because I know he's waiting to get started here. So Miss Johnson Driscoll, how would you answer that question? And then we'll get Mr. Dean Tarrolly on.
Well, I think that was a perfect answer. You know, when I go into grocery stores, I believe that the best thing is to have conversations with the teller. I mean, with the person checking you out. So asking them questions, Tracy, good morning. It's great to see your face. But I do, as I shared on one of my trainings, which was forming someone while in conversation. So then you know how to pique them because of their why. So, just have a natural conversation with them as you're checking out and say, hey, how's your day going? Tell me about yourself. While we're standing here, we might as well have a conversation, and you're checking me out, and give him a compliment, whether it's a man or a woman, and just be yourself. And then you can truly know to ask, whether are you open to making extra money around what you're doing, or, we just need to talk over coffee. I enjoyed our conversation. Are you open to sitting down for a cup of coffee sometime when you're off of work? So that's how I do it. I'm just very natural. Again, it goes back to the conversation I have with people, which is I'm just doing me in the world, and ACN is always a part of what I do in the world. So those conversations naturally happen, like Mr. Thomas's conversation is just natural, and you will know exactly how to get them to sit down with you. Hopefully that helps.
Wow. That's awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, he's on the call now. For those that don't know who he is and are new to our call, let me give him the proper introduction. He is an awesome father. As a matter of fact, I spent some time with him and his daughter in the Bahamas. I think it was 3 years ago. He's a great husband. He's an ACN co-founder go-to guy. What do you mean by go-to guy? Well, he does the trainings when ACN call him and say, listen, Mr. Tarrolly, you do the training for us. Hey, keep getting muted. He lives in Southern California. His business expand all over the United States and in several countries. And without further ado, matter of fact, he had a saying last week, and I want to quote that he said about his mother. He said, she said to him, frustration is a block goal. Wow, that's what she said to him. In other words, take action, take action. Here again, frustration is a block goal. And his mother said that to him. And he said that meant he had to take action. Without further ado, our guest speaker, my friend, Mr. Dean Tarrolly.
Mr. Thomas, thank you so much. You guys, first of all, let me get this part out of the way. How funny that Mr. Thomas remembered what we talked about last week is for those of you who, well, we all have computers and we all have updates that we need to do and things like that. And let me just tell you, there was a blocked goal this morning. So I got pretty frustrated with an update, and you guys could see I couldn't get my speakers, and I couldn't get things to connect. But you know what? It happens. And I appreciate your patience. We'll make sure that we make up for that time in the air. The next thing I would tell you guys is, how I feel about Mr. Thomas, how the company feels about him. You guys, let me tell you, I'm gonna cut right to the chase. It was great to hear Jocelyn this morning. Oh, that's awesome. I don't make any apologies, and I do not, and I hope that you won't either, because when you realize and you are proud to talk about your association with winners, right? Like, winners are great, and winners raise everybody's game. Winners raise people's expectations, and that's what Mr. Thomas is. And he's won for years and years and years and years and years. And you can't win in this industry, and you can't win in this business if you are not really good at helping people. Same thing with the Driscolls. They've helped a lot of people, which is why they're in the position that they're in. So be proud of that, right? I'm not embarrassed about that stuff like that at all. to be able to say, yeah, the gentleman that I work directly with is not only a senior vice president in our company, but he is trained in front of tens of thousands of people at our international training events. If I get a minute of this gentleman's time, I'm asking you not to take it for granted, because the co-founders of our company don't take it for granted. And now sometimes we need to be reminded of who we're working with, because familiarity can breed contempt sometimes. And it can, like, if we're a little too close to people, we sometimes don't realize or remember just how fortunate we may be. And that's obviously the way I feel about you guys and having Mr. Thomas, who's been a friend and a mentor to me. You know, I haven't talked about this for a minute. I'll just take 30 seconds to let you know that there have been times in my business, there's a couple specific conversations I can remember where I had some goals and things that I'm working towards in my business, and I turned to Mr. Thomas. I remember one specifically about what I needed to do to advance my business in a certain way, and that's the kind of environment that we work very hard to create. You guys, again, I apologize for being a few minutes late. Mr. Thomas, if that means you're putting me on the schedule for July, I'm in. Okay, cool. So I do have something to talk to you guys about. And then I know that we're going to do some numbers, and I want to hear some results from this last week. So I guess, Mr. Thomas, I don't know if there are certain people you want me to call on, if I'm calling on people who are courageous enough to have their camera unmuted. But I want to tell you this, you guys, here's something that you're going to find more and more and more the longer you're in ACN. Leaders love to be held accountable. Leaders love to be held accountable, right? And I'll give you an example. Mr. Thomas, Senior Vice President, Circle of Champions member, guaranteed he is held accountable by the co-founders to doing certain things in our businesses, or in his business, I should say. So leaders love to be held accountable. I talked about this last week. Michael Jordan had a coach. The greatest of all time, Michael Jordan had a coach, right? So it is very, very important. Got it, Natasha. Very, very important to understand that. The greatest ever had a coach, right? And in fact, I'm going to start this really quickly by just sharing something with you. You just got to give me a second to find it. So bear with me, because there's a quote, and you guys can write this down if you choose to. I talked about this on a leadership call. Okay, cool. So here's the quote, right? This is from Michael Jordan. If you guys saw The Last Dance, I've been talking about this quote, and if I said it in the last call, Al, did I talk about this in the last call? Because if I did, okay, perfect. Okay, check this out, you guys. Check this out. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I know some of you are newer. I know some of you have been around for a minute. So at one point in Michael Jordan's career, he had a coach by the name of Doug Collins. Doug Collins used to play for the Philadelphia 76ers. He became a coach, and a very popular coach, and Jordan loved him. And in The Last Dance, this mini series that they did about the Bulls, which you guys, I'm sure many of you saw. I mean, a lot of us watched it. I love listening to coaches. I love listening to coaches because that's what we do. In our business, we become coaches. If we do this for a long enough period of time, you're going to coach a group of people. And I love getting these quotes because it applies. I know I shared one with you guys from Jimbo Fisher, the coach at Texas A&M at Florida State, right? And I know I did that on one of these calls. Well, check this out. Here's a coach, right? Doug Collins coaching Michael Jordan. Please get these words down. Here's what he said. The greatest respect you can give a great player is to coach him and coach him hard. The greatest respect that you can give a great player is to coach him and coach him hard. Why is that so important to understand? It's important to understand, you guys, because we all only have so much time in the day. We have, the old joke about it's not really a joke, but the old phrase about the dash. In your life, you're going to have the year you were born, the year we pass away, and your life is the dash. And what you do with that dash is the most important thing. That's when you're here with everyone, right? So how does this all tie together to what it is that we're doing? Leaders, okay, let me see here. Jocelyn. Yes. Okay. I'm Jocelyn makes me laugh. I love her. Okay. Yes. You guys, when you say coach a player, clearly that is male, female, black, white, pink, purple, anybody we're working with. Yes. The greatest respect that you can pay a great player is to coach him or her hard. Absolutely. Right. And here's the thing, you guys, right? If they have greatness in them, and everybody does, but some people don't want it realized. Okay. Okay, there is a difference between a spectator and a participant. There is a difference in our, and by the way, you get to choose as new leaders. You get to make that choice with Mr. Thomas. I am out of the stands and on the field. You guys, this has been a theme I've been talking with people about in different organizations and different groups over the course of the last week. So now, let's say you get on the field, and let's talk about you guys specifically. Let's say you get on the field. There are things that we can track to figure out if we're getting closer to our goal. There are things that we can figure out that we can track to see if we're getting closer to the destination that we have. So ACN has laid out the game plan. The game plan is real simple. For those of you who don't know, I'm going to give you the ACN game plan. Customer qualified, executive team leader, regional director, regional vice president, senior vice president. There it is. Who's going to get there? The people that hold themselves accountable to the activities and actions on a daily basis that are going to advance their businesses. I hope you guys got that part. The people that get to these positions are the people that hold themselves accountable to the daily actions and activities that would produce a business that would allow those changes in the compensation plan to apply to you. Pretty simple stuff, right? So let's talk about this for a second, and I won't pick everybody, but because we won't have time. You know what we'll do? Maybe I should talk to you about that privately, Mr. Thomas. Maybe we could set up a time. Maybe we could actually set up. But here's the thing. Is if we do this, we would have to set up a time where people there would have to be a term of agreement that the people that would participate on an accountability call with this group. I know that you have multiple calls, but they would have to agree to camera on, full disclosure, and watch what comes out of that group if we did something like that. But you guys, all I wanted to do this week is to find out from you what happened in the last 7 days. That's it. Because what happens is when people start hearing people doing things, it's like dominoes. It's like a domino effect. It starts knocking down, and then other people are like, you know what? How did I go an entire week? By the way, with no personal tragedy, none of that stuff. How did I go an entire week without piquing one person? I don't even know how that's possible. When you start thinking that way, that'll never happen again. Did you even see Mr. Thomas? You're like this. He can't even relate to that because it's not who we are and what we do. So let me do this. And by the way, the most important part of this part is your honesty. You got to be honest, because I can't help and guide people forward if they're not honest about their numbers and their results. Remember, this is a result. Thank you, Dwayne. This is a result conversation. If you remember, Mr. Thomas said that he has these groups, and what do we want? We want you guys remember the TV show years ago? Most of you won't. The facts, ma'am, nothing but the facts. We want the facts of what happened, not all the emotion behind it. We want the facts because that's what shows up on paper. So, you're going to be laughing at me. So, Patricia, you are in the upper left-hand corner. Dragnet, that's right. You're in the upper left-hand corner. Tell me about the last week. We want to find about customer points, peaks, and presentations. Love to hear it. We need to unmute Miss Patricia Harris Bowman. She's not unmuted. Can you guys help me?
Okay.
Anybody who's they? Awesome. Thank you.
Raleigh and everyone.
Good morning.
So,
how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Good, thanks.
All right. Customer points. Woo! Okay, 7.
Awesome.
Yes, customer points are 7. Exposures are 18, and new customers 2.
So customer points. So you
Customer
put in
points is-
7 customers.
Yes, 7 customer points, 2 new customers, and 18 exposures.
Awesome. You guys, already are her numbers different than the week before?
Yes. Oh, sorry.
Dramatically different. Why? Because we got on here, we called our shot, we set a goal in a public forum, and you went after it. That's great. That is great. Let me ask you a quick question. From the 18 exposures, are there any people that are genuinely open to learning more?
2.
Okay, are those the 2 you were talking about?
No, there's 2 other people that are genuinely open to learning more.
Then here's what I would do. If there's 2 people that are genuinely open to learning more, then you have to take the next step with whoever upline is, if that's Mr. Thomas or whoever, because I don't know who everybody's upline is. I know Mr. Thomas opens this up to many different groups, very generous about that. Whoever that is, I would make that connection in the next day or 2. In fact, let me tell you how I think, you guys. So Patricia, what I would do is I would make that connection with the people that are interested before Saturday training. Whether you plug into the Saturday training that the company does or you plug into a different Saturday training, I would make sure that you get those people a conversation with your leader so your leader can invite them to see something more so they can learn more. Now you're engaging in the process of how this whole thing works. Make sense?
Yes.
Don't leave the interested people hanging. Just, hey, listen, I'd love to introduce you to to the gentleman that I'm working with. He's a senior vice president in this company. And, I know that you had some interest in some questions, and I'd love to maybe make that connection. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
By the way, well done. Really well done. That's awesome. Now, this week, we're going to set a goal. You got 7 customer points in the system this week. Next week, the goal is double digits. We want double-digit customer points this week, right? Double-digit customer points for you this week. And our goal is to get a rep. Let's get someone on the team, right?
Okay.
So now you got a goal. All right, cool. Great job. Thank you, ma'am. You got it. Hey, Belinda.
Yay.
Hey, great job. Great job. Hey, Belinda, how was this week for you?
Can you hear me?
You're good.
Okay. The week was good, Mr. Tarrolly. Okay, this is my numbers for the week.
I love it.
Can you hear me? Okay. I had
Yep,
4
good.
exposure. No, I had 4 peaks. 2 attended the presentation. Then I did 16 phone calls sending the video. Now, does that count as exposure?
What I would say is this. I think that's more of a peak than an exposure because we don't know if they saw it.
Okay.
We don't necessarily know because we could send out like the link to the overview. What that does allow you to do is it does give you the opportunity to follow back up with them and find out if they saw it. So the hard and fast numbers would be that you had 4 exposures. Now let me ask you a question, Belinda. The week before, how many exposures did you have?
There were 3.
Okay, so you improved.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I said there was 3 exposures, and 1 did attend a PBZ, but he was 17 years old and won't be like 18 until December.
Got it. Okay, so you already know you're going to have activity around the holidays, so that's pretty fun. So these are the kind of numbers. So what would the goal then be for this week? If you had 4 exposures this week, any customer points on the books or not this week?
Not this week.
Okay, cool. So then here's the goal for this following week. We want to double the exposures. The goal is to expose 8 people. 8. Now, you guys, let me give you a quick example. Check this out. You could literally say to someone, you could say, hey, look, hey, Bill's your friend. Hey, Bill, I've taken a position with a company, and it is my job to be able to explain this business to a group of people. Can I run this by you Just tell me if it makes sense, if what I'm saying makes sense, because I want to make sure that I do a good job. By the way, are all those statements true? 100%. Well, now Bill, who doesn't really think he's being piqued, you're presenting the business to him, and next thing you know, he's like, wait a minute, we can get paid on bills. I know, it's crazy, right? And they're like, well, yeah, I'd be interested. Oh, shoot, Bill, I didn't even think of you. Oh, yeah, I can talk to you about it, right? So next thing you know, you're taking somebody that you're using to kind of as an audience. Well, really, you're piquing them, right? So I would encourage you to use that as a way to be able to pique people, get your game, you know, raise your game up a little. Yeah, please, Mr. Thomas, whatever. Go ahead.
You know, I have a guy, we like minds think alike. I do the same thing, but what I usually ask a person, like they're real close to you, a friend or a family member, and say, look, I got to practice. I'm so nervous. I have to show Mr. Dean Tarrolly the information. I'm so nervous. Oh, by the way, can I practice on you? And now their guards are down. And I like that. That's the same thing. Just practice on them. I got to practice. Wink,
You know
wink.
what?
I'm just practicing. Wink, wink.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm nervous. I want you to grade me on how good I did. Back to you, Mr. Tarrolly.
No, that you guys, you see, that's perfect. I need to practice. I want to practice. Can I just practice on you? And now their guards come down. I love that. These are the type of things, these are the type of conversations, you guys, that take people from executive team leader to regional director, because now they're using practical things to advance their businesses. Okay, so who is next? Let's see here. The pains have shifted a little bit. Oh, someone's name just is gone. It just says iPhone. Let's see here. Belinda, thank you, by the way. I appreciate that. Oh, shoot. Hey, Mr. Thomas, can you help me out here? I cannot find her name. Okay. Let's see. Shoot.
Pat?
Who? But Pat. I have everybody. Pat, you know, because hey, Pat.
Thank you, Christine.
That's okay. Hey, Pat, can you unmute yourself or no? No? You can't unmute yourself? Let me see here.
Am I unmuted?
How'd things go? Yeah, yes, ma'am, you're good. How'd things go this week?
Well, last week I had 5 peaks, no customers. This week it was 4.
Okay.
4 peaks and 1 potential customer.
Okay, cool. So you guys, here's the thing. Just remember, and that's great job. Most everybody is doing this very part-time, certainly as we're newer. So here's the thing to know about that. So long as you find yourself being consistent, right? So long as you find yourself being consistent, when people understand that everything starts with peaking people. If someone goes through their past week and they haven't peaked one person, first of all, you're not kicked out of ACN. Second of all, life happens. But here's what I want you to think, you guys, because my job is to help you guys advance your positions, advance your businesses. Here's what I would say. Last week was 5. This week was 4. So you're in the same neighborhood. What I would do, and here's my challenge to you, Pat, if you accept it, right? My challenge is this week to double the number of peaks. So you went 5, you went 4. Now this week, you're peaking 8 people. You're peaking them. Now, it's like a vitamin. It's like 1 a day, and then an extra day you took an extra vitamin. So now, and anybody can peak 1 a day. Find yourself in a new place. Find yourself in a new, take a different route home and stop at a different place, and then pay someone a compliment, whether it's at the store or maybe, you guys, here's a big one that I like to do. And I did this a lot back in the day, trying to go regional vice president. I like hotels. I'm going to tell you why. I like hotels. I'm going to give you guys one of my little secrets here. I like hotels and I like hotel bars. Now, I'm not telling you to go drink. I'm not telling you to go get lit up in the middle of the day. That is not, okay, perfect. Pat, that's perfect. Watch this. But here's what I know. at nicer hotels, who stays at nicer hotels? Businesswomen, businessmen.
Yes.
How about this? They're typically in town on
Business. Yes.
So they come down to the bar and they had their meetings and they come down to the hotel bar and they grab a drink or a beer and they're watching, you know, whatever's on the TV, and it is an easy place, right? It's an easy place to be able to pique someone's interest. Do you need a little bit of courage? It could be something as simple as this. Nice suit.
Yes.
It could be something as simple as, hey, good evening. Where are you from? You know, and you're just an outgoing person, and next thing you know, guess what they're gonna say? Because you ask them, hey, where are you from? Are you in on business? Oh, what kind of business? Well, that's cool. Guess what they're gonna probably say, unless they are a negative person, and then you sorted them anyway. And what do you care? You have no tie to them. They're going to say, what do you do? In fact, I'll get here, you guys. Check this out. I'm gonna make sure I keep this in on time here. So check this out. Let's just say that that I'm the person I'm talking about. I go to the hotel bar, and you are coming into the bar, and you stand next to me, and you order your whatever, and I'd say, hey, good evening. How are you? Well, you got to
great.
Don't leave me hanging. Play with me. Okay, go ahead. Okay, so watch this. Right now, look. This is what would happen. Is it? Oh, great. So beautiful place, isn't it?
Oh yes, fantastic.
It's unbelievable, right? Are you in on business, or do you live here?
Oh, I'm doing business.
Awesome. Where are you from?
Oh, I'm from the Bay Area.
Unbelievable. Oh my God. Really?
Yes. It's beautiful out here. Where are you from?
Well, ironically, I'm from here, but you said you're from the Bay Area? I can't even believe that.
Yes, it's fantastic. I love it here. The weather is gorgeous.
One of the things that you would probably say is, why? Why is that unbelievable? Oh my God, that is, I can't believe you said that. You'd be like, well, why? I'm expanding a company there. So I want you to hear how this works. Now, pick a different place. You're from a different place. So where are you from?
I'm from Texas. Where are you from?
Unbelievable. Wait, you're from Texas? Hang on a minute. What part?
I'm from Dallas, Texas.
Unbelievable. You got to be kidding me.
Yes.
I'm expanding a company in Dallas.
Oh my God.
Pick another city. So where are you from?
I'm from Dallas, Texas.
You're from unbelievable. That is unbelievable. I can't believe it.
Why?
I'm expanding a company there.
Oh my goodness.
So
what
right?
kind of company?
There you go. That's Pat, pick another city. So Pat, where are you from?
From Los Angeles.
You've got to be kidding me.
Yes.
Oh, that's unbelievable. Wow.
Wow. So
I'm expanding a company in Los Angeles. What do you do? So I don't care what. I'm from Peoria. I'm from Chicago. I'm from Cleveland. I'm from Atlanta. I'm from Miami. I'm from San Antonio. I'm from Sacramento. I'm from Las Vegas. What's the response? Unbelievable. I can't believe it. Why? I'm expanding a company there. By the way, aren't we expanding in all those cities?
Yes.
There you go. Now you just found a way to pique everyone from wherever they are.
Okay.
Makes sense? So Pat, what's the goal this week? Oh my God. I'm sorry, you guys. I don't even know how it's possible, but it feels like it smells like someone is cooking bacon behind me. Oh my God. Okay. Anyway, that's another story. I just gotta, okay. So the goal this week is 8 peaks this week. Something as simple as, hey, where are you from? How you doing? I'm expanding a company there. I don't know if you look at other ways of making money, but what is involved? It involves energy. It involves energy and essential services. That's it. You've piqued their interest, and now you have all these different Zooms and things that you can invite them onto. Well done, Pat. So we're going to double our peaks this week, right?
I have
ahead.
another
Yes, ma'am.
question for you. I have like text, probably about 10 people. You know, so what
Great.
category do you put that in?
So no, that's a peak. That's
Oh,
fine.
okay.
If you're peaking via text, the thing that you want to do here, let me be crystal clear about this. And if Mr. Thomas teaches you something different, I'm asking you to follow what he says. I want to get someone, I love peaking via text, but I need to get them off of text and into a conversation as fast as possible.
Okay.
I need to get them off of the text and into a conversation ASAP, as fast as possible, because I'm not trying to have a full conversation over text and have people go on and dig around and try to find this and that and whatever. They need to feel me. You know what I mean? They need to feel the conversation, and that doesn't happen over text no matter how many smiley faces or exclamation points you put out. So anyway, so there you go. So I appreciate it, Pat. But yes, that absolutely counts. Just get them on a phone call with you as quickly as you possibly can.
Okay.
Dwayne, how is this? Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey, Dwayne, how is this week for you? New customers that signed up, presentations, or people who joined the team. So those are the three core things we're looking at. Customers that hit the books, presentations, exposures, and if you had any new people joining the team. That's what I'd love to hear.
Okay.
Oh, wait, so can someone unmute Dwayne? Just need a little bit of help. Let's see here. Okay, there you go, Dwayne. Fire away.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, you're good.
Good morning, good afternoon. My situation is a little bit different because I had my whole entire team collapse. Everybody just disappeared, so I'm starting fresh. So I actually let my position elapse.
Okay.
I restarted my position as of yesterday.
Okay.
So I'm putting my services in, but throughout the week, last week, I had 10 peaks, 4 got onto presentations, and 2 are interested.
Watch this. Watch these numbers, you guys. If I had my launch document, I want you to, don't go anywhere, Dwayne. If I had my launch document that Dave Culver knows, Natasha knows this. She's been on some of my launch calls. Check this out. I want you to give me those numbers again. I'm going to make a very important point to you guys. How many peaks?
10.
How many exposures?
4.
How many interested?
2.
You guys, that's our business. On my launch document, I have 20 peaks, 10 exposures, 2 new reps. That's it. That's how it works. So that's great, Dwayne. So Dwayne, next week, I'm going to expect that you have to do at least the same number of peaks this week, at least the same number, if not increase it. So I'm going to remember the numbers. Secondly, the same number of exposures, 10 exposures. Secondly, your service is being signed up because you moved whatever, your service is being signed up. You're going to have points hit in the books, right? Yeah. Like that has to happen this week so we can talk about it next week. And by the way, next week, you guys, we're only going to do a handful of these at the beginning, and then I'll have another topic to go in. Wait, am I speaking next week, Mr. Thomas? Oh, I am. Okay. You just gave me the nod. Okay. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I shouldn't assume. Makes an ass of myself. Okay, cool. So Dwayne, here's my question for you. Of the 2 people that are interested,
yes,
right? Do you have someone to get them on the phone with other than you? Of the 2 people who saw the presentation and are genuinely interested?
Yes.
Okay. Who would that person be?
Mr. Rob Richards.
Okay, great. Get him on with Rob Richards. Make sure that you edify him and get yourself out of the way and let Rob do his business. I know Rob Richards, great guy, nice guy. Tell him that Dean said hello. Perfect. So that's great. So now you have your goals for next week.
Yes.
Got it. Perfect. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that, man. That's awesome. And whatever you had to go through to have to get your business restarted, I hope everything is good with you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Very good. You got it.
I'm
sir.
the one that made the bacon, by the way.
Oh, dude, I can smell it right here. This is insane, right? You're making me hungry. Sergio. Oh, hang on. Asked to unmute. See if I can do that. Oh, hang on. Wait, you muted again. We got to unmute you. Sergio.
There we go.
Okay, good. There we go. Cool.
Good morning. Good to be here. Awesome.
Good to have you.
Okay.
How was this week for you?
You know, it was, I felt like I had a little more activity last week, but
okay.
I did peak 20 people. I had 5 exposures, 2 customer personal points, and 0 brand leaders.
Okay, you guys watch what he said though. I want you to hear this. This is how to do an accountability. Give me the numbers again.
Okay.
Pure numbers. Go ahead.
20 exposures.
20 exposures.
20 peaks, 5 exposures.
Okay.
2 customer points, 0 brand leaders. And
okay, great.
I did help a rep get customer qualified, and I also helped another 4 brand leaders get accredited to offer Zoom Energy in the United States.
Perfect. So now check this out, you guys. The core things that we can track. He had 20 exposures. He had 20 peaks, 5 exposures. There's the numbers. You guys, that's how it works, right? 20 peaks, 5 exposures, and 2 customer points hit the books. Your business advanced this week. Now it's the follow-up with the 5. This is what's so important. It's the follow-up with the 5 and continue to build on your customer points. You guys, I'm telling you, the only thing that pays you in ACN is getting customers, helping someone get a customer, exposing the business, helping someone on your team expose the business and sign people up. That's it. Those are the things those are what determines, that is what determines your income in ACN. Really important to understand that. That is what determines your income in ACN. So if you guys understand that and you can embrace that, right? This becomes easy. It becomes the norm. It literally becomes the norm, right? So awesome, Sergio. So we're going to increase those numbers this week, right? I'm sure everybody on this call would have loved to have had 20 peaks. You guys, let me just put things in perspective. 20 peaks. A peak could be, hey, Al, you look at other ways of making money, right? That's a peak. How many times could that happen in a week? Hey, Marvin, do you look at other ways of making money outside of work? Hey, Cheston, do you look at other ways of making money? Or hey, I found a way to work from home. Are you open to hearing about it? That's a peak. You guys, that took 15 seconds, right? So I just want you to know we can make this much less complicated than it really is. I mean, we make this more complicated than it really is. It's much less complicated. Okay. So let me do, coming up on time here. Let me do Akiko. How are you? Oh, hang on. Let's see if we can get her. There she is.
Yes, I'm doing good. Thank you.
Good. How was your week?
I did 27 new texts, and I did, and I got 2 exposures, and 1 is interested in.
Perfect. So there's the numbers, you guys.
Yeah. And also like
now,
4 customer point for like myself, and 8 customer point from my team. So
you guys, this is important. So she had over 20 text peaks. She had a couple of exposures from those peaks. She had 4 customer points personally and 8 in the team.
Yes.
Would you guys agree that her business advanced this week? Her business advanced this week. So you guys, I want you to remember this. And I know that there's some other people I was going to call in today. We can maybe do a couple of them next week, you guys. The reason I wanted to do this is I want you guys to understand. I don't want you to have your expectations set improperly. I want your expectations set properly. Whatever you want out of ACN, it's going to be available here. Maybe it's a sense of community. Maybe it's a sense of having a mentor like a Mr. Al Thomas. Maybe it's the fellowship of the group. Maybe it's just being a part of something. That's great if that's what you want out of this. What I don't want you to do is ever get disappointed about the results that are happening in ACN unless you are doing the activities that would give you a result that you are looking for. That's unfair. So I want to give you guys, and that's why doing things like understanding. Let me go back over this week and really see what I did in ACN. Let me go back. How many people did I peak? How many turned into presentations? How many customers did I get? Okay, those are the things that you can track and see the advancement of your business, right? And it's important. So I want to leave you with a thought here, you guys. And then Mr. Thomas, anything you want me to say, not say? Guys, I could not feel any worse about being on the call late. I'm a stickler for time, and I apologize. It was a bit of a mess. So let me give you guys something. And one or two of my leaders that are on the call heard me talk about this yesterday, and it's something that it's something that I hope will help you. Okay, I hope it'll help everybody. Does everyone on this call want to become a regional director or higher at some point for real? Would you guys say is that a fair statement? That everybody wants to do this? Like, you're in this thing to win. Okay, Queen V, I see you gave me the thumbs up from New York, and hopefully everybody else. Tracy raised her hand. Okay, great. You guys, so check this out. There are two factors that I have determined. Thanks, guys. There are two factors that I believe are going to help you understand going from executive team leader through regional director to whatever position you want. And here are the two, and I don't think they're factors. I think these are two critical factors. Thanks, Justin. In fact, I had this conversation with Justin Nepomuceno, who's a regional director. In fact, I have two regional directors on this call right now, Roxanne Corlejo and Justin Nepomuceno, and they're both on a run to regional vice president. I wanted to be very clear with you guys about what I talked to my team about yesterday. There are two critical factors to go ETL through RD and higher. And here are the two critical factors, right? Here's what they are. Number one is availability. You got to make yourself available. You got to make yourself available to be trained, and you have to make yourself available to train. So critical factor number one is availability. Critical factor number two is ability. The whole point of these conversations is to increase your skill level so your abilities increase. Availability and ability. That's it. That's it. Now, what goes in? There's a lot of things that go into those two conversations, and maybe we can talk more in detail about that next week. But I'm going to tell you something. If you are a person that signed up in ACN and you are always unavailable, if you're a person that signed up in ACN and you can never make this call and you can never make the thing, you got to figure out your schedule to prioritize this to the degree that you want it to work for you. So number one, availability. You know, here's the thing about being available, you guys. Look, we're in a very unique window of time, and anybody can make themselves available if they choose to. Now, there are personal things that happen in our lives that require our attention. If you have kids, there are things that require your attention, but you just got to get good at managing your time and your schedule to make yourself available. And you got to make yourself available to be coached, and you have to make yourself available to coach and assist. That's half of the reason I go through this stuff with you, is so we can duplicate some things out that I know have made Mr. Thomas successful. I'm just a different voice giving you the same principles and information, maybe in a different way and some interesting stuff, but whatever. So availability and ability. See, here's the thing, you guys. We're talking about developing independent leadership. And what is required to become an independent leader is you have to have some abilities. What would those be? How to sign up a customer, how to pique someone's interest, how to present the business, how to close people. I don't like people being closed. Listen, someone closed you on not liking being closed. People close. That you closed, Mr. Thomas is like, you close business. That's obvious, right? And the point is this, that's a great thing. Your abilities will increase the more available you are. Your abilities will increase the more available you are to get the information and actively participate in conversations such as the one we had today. So that's what I wanted to share, Mr. Thomas. I cannot apologize to you. Oh, hang on one second. I'm getting some messages here. Hey, Dwayne, one quick question, because I know I made everybody late today and I couldn't feel any worse about it. But Dwayne, fire away if you have that question. If someone can unmute Dwayne, he said he had a quick question. Let's see here. Hey, partner. Oh, you're muted. You're muted. You're muted. You're muted.
Can you hear me now?
There you go. You're good. I got you. I got you.
So one of the things that I have a problem with when I peek people, because I can peek anybody, anywhere, anytime. My problem is when it comes to peeking a woman, I never ask for their number. I feel uncomfortable asking for a woman. Do you have any suggestion for a male asking a lady what you go
Absolutely. Absolutely. By the way, that happens. Absolutely. Number one, what I would say is this. Please understand this is a bit you're sharp. I'm working on a business project. This is not personal. I would love to get you some information. If you're open to looking at a business, if you're open to looking at other business options, if you keep your business options open, and she said, well, yeah, I do. And number one, I'm going to be very clear. This is not personal. This is business. The second thing is this. I would never, watch this. I would never assume to get your phone number. I would love to give you mine. If you're open to that, I'd love to give you my number and my email, and I'd love to be able to exchange some information and let you know about our expansion plans. So don't get their number from them. And a lot of times, you know what to say? I don't mind. Here's my email address. What do you got? If she's a business person, you'd be like, well, I want to see what you got. So that's what I would say. So that's a very fair question. Yes, Mr. Thomas.
You know, one of the things I would say, especially with guys recruiting women, that's how they feel like you're trying to hit on them or something. Here's something that I've always done in the past is, by the way, what is your husband's name or boyfriend's name? And they're like, huh? Yeah, I just don't want to disrespect him. When they say that, they know you're real, because a lot of times they're still hesitant. But when you say that to a woman, what's your husband's name or boyfriend's name? Because when I call you, I don't want to disrespect him, or you can bring him. Now they're really open to give you that number, knowing that you said that. Back to you.
That's perfect. There you go. By the way, that's why we get coached by senior vice presidents. There's a perfect example, right? A perfect example. So, so you guys, I hope that today was helpful. This group, here's the thing. The word that gets coaches fired, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to end with this. The word that gets coaches fired in all sports is potential. See, if someone has potential and the coach can't bring the potential out of the person, that's a challenge. So my goal is to get, and we've already seen examples of it here, you guys, just last week to this week. My goal is to get that out of you guys, right? So now we're starting to realize potential, and that realized potential translates into actual customers and business partners in your business, and you're seeing your business advance. That's what all of this is about. That's what all of this is about, is getting you in the right mindset, getting you looking at this just a little bit differently than maybe you did in the past, because you've made a decision to cross the line and treat this thing really seriously and follow Mr. Thomas's lead. So, Al, I can, dude, I'm going to be apologizing.
Thank you, sir. Then we all go show Mr. Dean Tarrolly some love. Just come on, let's show some love. There you go. Hey, I just want to let everybody know, I want to thank a couple of people got on here late. Regional Director, Ms. Evelyn Phibbs from Fresno, and also Regional Director, Mr. Grossman. God, it's good. We like to salute all the regional directors and point them out. Tonight on this number, but at 6:00 p.m. Pacific Coast tonight, we're doing a 1 through 10 presentation with a quick start training right after that, in case you want to get guests on here. Tomorrow morning at 9:00 a.m., our guest speaker will be Mr. Byron Nelson will be with us tomorrow morning at 9. And then tomorrow night at 6 o'clock right on here is Happy Al. Al's Happy Hour. Last week, Mr. Dean Tarrolly jumped on a little after we got off. We had such a great time, Mr. Dean Tarrolly. We played tribute. We had a tribute it was a fun time.
I was on and you guys were gone.
It was fun. It was so much fun. So all right. Don't forget, everybody, tomorrow morning, Mr. Byron Nelson will be with us tomorrow morning at 9. And then tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, right back here at Al's Happy Hour, bring me a libation of whatever you want, your chips and dip, and we can have some fun. So once again, tonight at 6 o'clock, we're going to be doing a 1 through 10. You got guests, bring them on here, get them on. and a quick start right after that. So thank you so much, Mr. Dean Tarrolly. We'll see everybody tonight at 6 o'clock. Be safe out there and continue getting your numbers on like Mr. Tarrolly talked about. And we also like to thank Regional Vice President, Ms. Johnson Driscoll. Thank you so much. God bless. Bye-bye.